Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's NHSACA webinar, Fundraising, which we all love. Well, we have Payrock here with us today, who's going to show us how fundraising can be easy for our coaches and athletic administrators. I'm Scott Jarvis, the Executive Director of the National High School Athletic Coaches Association, and I'm thrilled to have you here with us today. As coaches, as ADs, we all know the struggle of balancing budgets with big dreams for our programs. We're constantly asking for more and more money from our communities, our booster clubs. And let's just be honest, it's with ourselves too. I know our coaches out there are spending their own money on their programs, but what if we could just fund our programs without selling anything, without organizing an event, and without going back to the same people over and over again? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. This session will introduce you to a smarter, more valuable way to generate recurring support for your athletic programs without any cost to your school or your local businesses. Payrock's Give program is a game changer for schools looking to do more with less, and I'm excited to share how it works. So grab a pen, take some notes, and get ready to rethink how we fund high school athletics. And with that, I'll turn it over to Kyle and Shane. Thank you so much for being here today.
Very nice. Thanks for the introduction, Scott. Got me fired up here. I'm sure you all are.
Let's go.
I'm sure you all are as well at this time of the year. We completely recognize that it's a little bit chaotic on your end, likely with school starting, seasons probably have already been in the works. So thanks for taking a few minutes here on this Thursday morning to learn more about our gift program. First things first, some introductions on our end. I'm sharing my screen here, and the first thing I wanted to point out, kind of going off of what Scott mentioned, talking about some of the challenges that have come with, the necessary evil that is raising funds for your teams, for your equipment, for everything in between. I want to point out that our contacts over here, myself, and yes, we have the same last name because we were brothers, but my colleague and brother Shane, we are ex-athletes. And we're very excited to have this program that can take our existing business, something that's already happening in your community, and use it as a way to generate funds. So, Shane and I have been high school athletes, collegiate athletes, professional athletes, coaches. So we know I don't want to say the struggle, but we know the grind of making sure that you have the funds coming in. And that's kind of what we're going to walk through today. So before I do that, Shane, did you want to jump in and say hello?
Yeah. Guys, everyone, I appreciate your time. Scott, good to see you again. As Kyle mentioned, we're going to go through some things here. And yes, we are related. People always ask that. It's a very unique last name. So it's not Smith, correct?
Yeah.
So we'll go through that all together and really let, Kyle's going to run the show here. I'm going to jump in and kind of see how we can smooth things out for anyone's understanding and kind of tell you about our program and how it works. Kyle, go ahead. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Shane. So for today, we will do our best to keep it conversational. No one wants to sit and look at slides and read slides all day, but we'll start by giving you an idea of some traditional fundraisers that we considered and thought how our program might fit in or replace those programs in order to better your fundraising efforts. And then we'll tie in our business and what our program actually does. I'm hoping to cover that in about 10 to 15 minutes, so then we can leave the rest of the time to talk through examples, of course, answer all your questions, and help you kind of feel out if this could be a great fit for your school or for your teams. So if you have any questions, feel free to jump in, put them in the chat. We'll do our best to answer them on the spot or save some time at the end to cover them. So first things first, we won't spend too much time here, but we do want to point out some of the traditional fundraising channels that you're likely leveraging and have been leveraging for years and years, right? You have your product sales, your camps and clinics, sponsorships or ad sales from businesses, ticket sales, and then of course, some things that are becoming more popular like donations and crowdfunding, right? Like I'm sure you all have been hit up by the tech platforms touting ways to fundraise and things of that nature. So you all know these, you all understand these, they can be super valuable. We're not saying that you need to stop doing these at all, but what we are thinking about with our gift program are the challenges that come with those traditional funding streams. And that's time, funding sources, and overhead, right? It takes a lot of time from your coaches and volunteers who are already doing so many other things. Those funding sources, constantly going back to the same pools, that's where you are likely maybe having some people say, listen, I can't give as much as I did last year for any number of reasons, right? So finding new funding sources is always a goal. And of course, overhead, right? Not every single school has unlimited pockets to dive in, spend all the money up front with the hope of making a return on the back end. So all of this you already know. So let's kind of jump into who we are as a company. So first things first, we do have a fundraising program, but we are not by any means just a company focused on fundraising. We are an established business in the merchant processing and payment services industry. Our company launched over 20 years ago in Chicagoland. We've since expanded nationally and are now operating in over 30 countries across the globe. Most of our growth can be tied back to our ability to innovate and our extreme focus on working with people and partnerships. So several years back, the idea of our gift program came to be, and essentially it takes an existing partnership model that is typically used by banks or accounting firms or other groups that have relationships with businesses, just like your school does. So those entities have been using that partnership model for years. We have thousands and thousands of partners in those spaces. But a few years back, there was an idea of, well, what if the school could be one of our partners? And instead of us sharing any type of revenue with that bank in the community, what if that money started to go back to the schools? So we had several high schools come on board. We have colleges on board. And earlier this year, Shane and I and our team started to make more of a valiant effort to make schools and college or high schools, K through 12 schools and colleges aware of this program. One thing I want to point out.
Let me give you a breath here. Does everyone follow kind of what Kyle's mentioning? Is there anyone not familiar with what payment processing is or understand it? If just to take it as a simple thing, anywhere you've been or used a credit card, debit card, and or ACH option is a business that we work with. Does that make sense to the crowd as a whole for the most part? Oh, credit card processing. There you go. Sorry. Go ahead, Kyle. Sorry.
No, all good. As Shane was mentioning, just to kind of start to tie this all together here, credit card processing, this is a fixed operational cost. It's not the same cost every month, but it's something that a business will need if they want to accept cards from their customers. Similar to having, Wi-Fi or access to a phone. This is a bill that they pay every single month, and it's typically based on a number of different fees and percentages baked in there. That's what our business does for pretty much every type of business that you can think of. So since these businesses need to work with someone like us, that's where our gift program started to come into place. But one thing I did want to mention as we were looking at the registrants, we wanted to make sure that we were talking about the program for the audience today. We saw a number of administrators, athletic administrators, school administrators, coaches, college coaches, college administrators, even executive directors for different state associations. I want to point out that we can work with you all on an individual basis to customize the program to fit your needs. What we'll talk about today is mainly for high school coaches or high school athletic administrators, but we're also having a lot of success with colleges and universities as well. So let's kind of tie this all together by pointing out the gift program. So our gift program can also be rebranded to fit your school name. So if your mascot is the Tigers, we can call this the Tigers Gift Program, or the Tigers Backers Program, or whatever you want it to be, to make it a fit with your school and your brand within the community. So through this program, we will direct a percentage of our own profits from all participating businesses into a fund for you. So what that means is those businesses that are participating, they take that fixed business expense and we turn it into a monthly recurring revenue stream for you. That's the general gist of the program. We'll talk through how it all works and set up and you know what you have to do, what you don't have to do, and things of that nature. But I'll pause there to see if there are any immediate questions. I don't see anything in the chat just yet, but if you do have a question, you're welcome to jump right in.
Scott,
I see Scott has his hand raised. Yes.
Kyle, I as you talk through this, I can see some benefits for our executive directors working with their coaches and other schools, and how that could potentially benefit their coaching organization. Having the reach that they have within their states, utilizing that as a funding mechanism for our state associations and executive directors that are on today also.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And as Kyle mentioned, this is Shane again. As Kyle has mentioned, fixed expense, meaning like every business is using our services from us or one of our competitors currently. It's something that people shop often and look into. It's something that people are not sharing in revenue with supporting partners, and they're trying to earn the business themselves by cold calling or walking in the doors. And what we're feeling is when we're helping people, you guys, the schools, the organizations, the people and business owners, operators, controllers in their immediate networks or their friends can help us grow our business, and in return, that referral partnership gets a good cut of the revenue. So everyone's helping everyone. But go ahead, Kyle, go through how it works.
No, that's spot on, and that feeds right into how it works. And this is where we like to spend most of the time talking about with potential schools, and of course with you all today. But when we talk through how it works, it all ties back to those traditional challenges that you might be facing with other fundraising programs. Because as we walk through these steps briefly, you'll start to see, well, it doesn't have all of those challenges and shortcomings that we mentioned. So first things first, there's no cost to the school, and there's no cost or minimum obligations, right? So you can become a partner. We sign you up. It's a simple setup system, and you're good to go. From there, we will actually meet with you to understand, okay, what do you have in place in terms of, do you have a list of a few businesses that might be interested? If you're not sure how to contact them or which coaches could help you spread the word, we will put together a marketing plan for you, so you don't have to do all that work on your own. We will act as an extension of your office to make sure that it's successful for you. And then in terms of what those businesses do, we handle all of the business communications. I've gotten several emails this morning saying, "Hello, Kyle, I'd like to introduce you to business owner X. Here's a little information about them. Please let them know if the program is going to be a fit for them." And then we do all the work from there. That's the only thing the school needs to do, is serve as that middle person, that partner referring us over to them, and we do all the work from there. Shane, did you want to add something before I kind of talked about the last few aspects?
No, it just goes there. I mean, my brain, you know how it goes, Kyle. There's great ways to grow the business or grow the thought process of this program. And as Kyle mentioned earlier, it doesn't always have to be reaching out to the same people. But if you are, when he's got just a minute ago talked about a list of people or how to market it and so on. But if you know the lunch place that sells hot dogs and hamburgers down the street from the school, or your group typically gives you a $300 donation a year for a sign, when you go back and ask for that donation this year or reach back out, you can let them know, hey, we can help you now. We appreciate your donation. Do you want to do it again? And in doing so, we can help you actually save some of your costs. And this company and this program is going to also drive us more funding for our school and our programs, or our organization, whatever you want to call it, if that kind of helps. And we've put together marketing stuff in the past for people to use existing and prior marketing materials to go back and tell them, their customers, their relationships, their donors, how they could partner with us as well to use each other to say, hey, thanks for your $500 annually. We are now going to save you $500 every 6 months on your credit card processing. Appreciate, all your support over the years. And we hope we can continue to we could receive donations from you annually still. And we're going to continue to help with this program as well. So they kind of work off each other.
Yep. Very good. So there's some good questions coming in. Scott, I see your question here, but just to sort of recap how it works. School becomes a partner, no cost. We help you put together a plan to spread the word based on your needs. It can grow as big or stay as small as you'd like. We handle all the business setup. You start to see funding on autopilot. So once a business is set up, you receive funding every single month. A new business comes on, that new business funding comes in the next month. And then it can continue to grow as big as you'd like it to be. And of course, you have the freedom to make it your own, along with our support. A question that Scott had, is it possible for small schools to get businesses from larger communities to support their schools? This is where Shane mentioned, like I have it here listed as number 6, make it your own and continued growth. There are no walls. For example, you may have a handful of businesses within your local community starting off because they are the ones that you know. But all of a sudden, you have someone on the football team and their uncle lives 2 towns over that owns a HVAC company, and they are interested in signing up. They can sign up even though they're not in the community, whether they're a town over or a state over or even a country owner potentially. So there are no walls. You can have any business just about any business in the US and even some in other countries join, which makes it really appealing in terms of the growth side of things. And Shane has mentioned this as well, but this is also a key part as we start to get into some frequently asked questions. What about the businesses? This comes up a lot. First things first, we will always meet or beat their existing processing rates. It's so important. I'll say it again. We will make sure that business is spending what they're currently spending or less if they work with us. In most cases, we will save them money each month. So right off the bat, they're going to be saving money. And that could mean $100 a month. It could be $1,000 or $10,000 a month that they're saving from switching over to us. Also on top of that, we're not just some other provider. We are an industry leader in the space. And so they'll get likely upgraded technology. They'll get, in most cases, better support, and they'll be able to work with a payments partner that can help them drive their business forward. Shane, was there anything else on the what about the business side of things that?
No, that comes through. That comes through differently, every different opportunity. But just so they get the gist, like their uncle owns a muffler shop in Florida and the school is in New York, we can still sign them up to have the revenue flowing to the school of their choice.
Yeah. Perfect. So another question, what types of businesses might generate the most revenue? We have some examples of, these aren't actual schools, these are more of hypotheticals, just to give you an idea. Every business is going to be different, right? You may have a hair salon that generates a lot of money every month. And when we come in, we might be able to help them save money, and then now part of that is going in as well. It's very hard to say on the type of business, but this will kind of start to get the gears turning in your mind. So I have 3 different gift partners that I'll kind of spotlight here, each with different numbers of participating businesses, just to kind of show you how this can grow. in our program, it's not necessarily the amount of time that you put in, it's the number of businesses that are involved. So in this brief example, this partner, so this could be your school, you have 5 businesses. You have a salon, a muffler, a coffee shop, a manufacturing company, and a car dealership. Each of those businesses, the revenue share coming to the school ranges from $70 to $200 a month. That's never going to be the same, but in this example here, just 5 businesses is giving the school over $600 a month. As you start to grow, here's another example. So we have now 25 example businesses. We have a diner, a bike shop, a yoga studio, all these different types of businesses still generating in that, $70, $50 to $200 range. But now with 25 businesses, they're almost at $2,500 a month. So they might do this in the first 6 months, sign these businesses up, and now without having to do any extra work, apart from introducing those businesses to us, they're seeing almost $2,500 a month come to the school.
Yep. And just so we're clear, everyone, that when Kyle says monthly, it's because these accounts on our side of our industry, they pay their monthly processing bill for as long as they're doing business. As long as that business is using our solution to move their payments, the school, the organization that is their referral partner, receives their revenue monthly. So it's not a one-time deal. You're not selling a candle and earning the money for the one candle. It's once the relationship's made and they're processing payments, the referral partner gets revenue for the length of that business relationship with the business. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And then here is just the last example. And here, 50 businesses, business types all across the board. In your communities, you may think of that ice cream shop or hot dog shop or like restaurant because they're physical buildings there that you notice, but you'd be very surprised to know that the landscaper or the plumber, the HVAC company, that manufacturer, there are dozens and hundreds of businesses in or around your community, depending on the size, probably more like thousands, that would likely be at least interested in learning about our program. And getting about 50 on board, this is an example of what you could be seeing each month. Every school is going to be different because every business is different. This is very realistic of what you can accomplish. But we like to point this out because this is often a question. But as you can see here, it's not as straightforward as, ask 100 people to give $50 and then you get, $500 back. This is a much different, more sustainable option because it's tied into that fixed cost. And as we've mentioned, we'll always tie it back. These businesses want to support your school, but they can't always dig into their own profits or their own pockets. This is an expense that they will be paying with or without this program. And with our program, we are being less greedy by cutting a percentage of our own profits back to the school, because we want to see this money go to support student athletes and teams.
And understand just real quick, is the numbers Kyle show, every partner that we bring on board has a different mindset, a different plan for how they want to grow. You could get those 50 numbers, 50 accounts live, 50 businesses live on your referral partner program to give the gift back in 2 months or 2 years. Every opportunity has their own, we should do it this way. Most of the time, and Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people, they'll laugh and joke, and it's not a negative regret as much as, oh, on month 10, we see $2,000 coming in this month. This is great. We wish we laughed. We wish we should have pushed harder from the start, or they might say that on year 2. Everyone has their own thing. And we've all learned that as people of taking care of ourselves or our families or whatever you want to do for your sports programs. Everyone is smarter in hindsight, but it continues to grow. And it's kind of one of those things that you forget about it sometimes. And it's still nice when it comes in and you're like, oh, yes, that work we did 10 months ago is paying off. That work we did a year ago is paying off. If that makes sense.
That's
Go ahead.
a good example of that is a college, or it's a university that we started working with as well. Our initial meeting with them took a couple of weeks due to just some rescheduling and personal things. And after the first meeting, we got introduced to a business, and then that first business joined within a week. So they said, "Oh, if we didn't push this meeting back a couple of weeks, we could have had this money coming in a few weeks earlier." But a couple of things here I have pointed out. These are real questions that we're hearing on a weekly basis from mostly high schools, but also some universities as well, about the program. So that's why we want to, we'll kind of leave the conversation here and see where it goes for today's webinar, because we want to make sure that we're answering all of your questions. So, first and foremost, like, will my staff need to learn how to sell PayRock services? The short answer is no. We'll give you the basics, kind of get you equipped to at least introduce what the program does, and then we take it from there. Your goal is to open the door. What if we struggle to get interest? That's perfectly okay. Like, there are no costs, there are no fees that you would need to pay or anything like that. Like, think about a handful of businesses each year can grow into thousands of dollars a month for your fund.
Mm-hmm.
Another question: how often do businesses think about their payment processing services? And this ties into a question that Scott put in the chat about retention rates. So the short answer: most businesses will think about this expense on a regular basis, whether that's annually, quarterly. Some businesses will stay with the processor for 10, 20 years. Shane, I know you have clients that have been with you for almost a decade.
Right. It's very true. And just so the crowd understands, it's an industry. It's like you have your cell phone with AT&T and you pay your bill every month, and you're kind of always just like, oh yeah, I'm tired of paying that bill. But you don't really, where else are you going to go? T-Mobile, competitor, and you only have so many options. It would be much easier to make the jump to the next one if they were going to save you $20 a month, and knowing a portion of that revenue was going to support your kids' school programs or somebody that you care about, that program, that organization. So when it comes down to it, yes, people think about it. They don't always want to make the move or do whatever, but it's a mega $1 trillion industry that is something that's, when you're not in the business world, you don't think about it. Even our family members who are like, oh yeah, you guys do credit cards and you do that over there at the store or anything. Is it just for farmers market? No, it's like corporate America. It is the hair salon, as Kyle mentioned, the muffler shop, tires, anyone that takes payments needs a solution. We could save them the money, and you guys get a portion of the revenue of our revenue from that. It's a great deal, and people like to do business with people. People want to support each other. It's a great way to help everyone involved. Does anyone have any real, questions of like, I have no idea what you're talking about. This doesn't make sense, or, where are we at? I know we cover a lot of things, and I talk fast for myself. Kyle, not as much. But when it comes down to it, every opportunity we've come to, people say, it sounds good. We got a question about this, and no one has always the same questions. A lot of like, okay, how fast can we do it? Or why would somebody leave? You got to ask them. If we could save them money, it might be a good idea. If we could do the same cost as their current processor and sharing revenue with the school or their relationship, it makes sense. I doubt their current relationship is sharing money with you guys. So it's an easy way to think about it. Kyle, what else you got?
Yeah, so I have been looking at some of the attendees. Looks like we might have had some join last minute. So the 30-second version of where we are now, with our fundraising program, we offer a business service to businesses in your community. It's centered around payment processing, which is something they have to pay for. It's something they have to use. And with our program, a business can sign up to use our services, and we direct a percentage of our own profits into a fund for you. So instead of them paying, company A, which takes all the money and they might be paying too much for anyway, they can use our company, Payrock, pay a less amount, so they're saving money, and seeing a percentage of that expense go to support their local schools. So they don't have to dig into their own pockets. I mean, they still can, for your school's sake, we hope they keep up with that $500,000 donation every year. But we also, through this program, might be able to turn that into $100 a month that they weren't already paying. So that's there's a lot more that goes into it, but just to bring everyone up to speed, if you were joining late, if this is something that you're interested in a moment here, I'll go back to our contact information, but I'm sure you can get it from Scott as well. We'd love to set up time just to chat with you to answer all your specific questions in a one-on-one phone call, or if you prefer face-to-face, we could do a Zoom or a Google Meet. As our partners grow, we actually will visit in person as well and make sure everything's up to speed that way. I don't see any other questions here. One thing I did want to point out, and this comes up a lot, it's, who is this company, Payrock? Can we trust them? The first place I always point everyone is our website. You will see not only all of our industry specific information, which is more for the business owners and the controllers and the finance executives, but you'll also see that in 2025, we were voted by Inc. as a top place to work. So we are a very well-established industry leading company. But also a question that comes up is, well, I'm not sure if businesses would even be interested. Can we even put out some feelers first before we go all the way in? Absolutely. Here's what you can, here's generally how you can walk into a business just to get an idea of if this will work. And just walk in there and say, is it true that your payment processing costs are pretty high every month? You can ask this to the person who changes your tires, or, that maybe even the place that cuts your dog's hair. And they'll likely say, oh yeah, it's pretty high. It's kind of complicated. There's rates and fees and all of this. And then you can tell them, say, well, there's actually a company that we met, and they'll take a percentage of that expense and give it back to the school and even save you money in the process. And we guarantee you that they will at least be interested in learning more. And so that's always something that, we recommend. Shane, you want to jump in while I take a look at this question here?
Yeah. Well, I was just reading the one that came through, industries to go towards or stay away from.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one you're looking at?
Yes, it is. Do you want to take that one?
Yeah. So the quick answer is no. The long answer is if somebody is selling something that is high risk, they already know it. If somebody has an online gaming platform, and we want your brother-in-law made that online gaming software, and they've been doing it for 3-4 years. You tell them about the program, they already are aware of the risks, and some states won't allow it, or it's just a higher rate than it would be for the breakfast restaurant down the street. So we could try to find a home for anyone. It's the same. It's not cookie cutter in our industry for the tools needed and the risk that is associated with it. That's really getting into the weeds a little bit, but you bring every opportunity to the table. We'll white glove it all with your team and business owner together, or just us and business owner together on your behalf, and to see if we can help earn their business by educating, by cutting their rates, by being a good person with them. So make it quick again. No industry that you should stay away from the start. Everyone we could find a home. It's just not always the home they might be looking for if it is a high risk one that you're thinking of from the start. That makes sense.
Yep.
And let's be honest, if somebody owns a BP gas station, it's not a quick turnaround. It is a one credit card machine at the muffler shop, right? There's a lot more pieces than when they have 25 gas pumps and 10 checkout counters and a brand new gas station that has snacks and food inside. That makes sense.
And Shane, I'll take a stab at this question here, and you can add anything I might have missed, but it's from Chad asking about the percentage that the school receives. So it's a little bit complicated, but the percentage of the profits is 30%. So
Yes, sir.
that's not to say if their bill is 10 grand, you're receiving 3 grand, because a majority of that 10 grand goes to the banks, the Visa, Discover, MasterCard,
Correct.
American Express, the card networks. But so like in this example here, and this is just to give you an idea, this Titan Manufacturing, through the gift program, $200 of their bill every month is going to the school. Their monthly bill might be 15 grand,
Yeah.
12 grand. Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle, I'm gonna help you jump in right here.
Yep.
So it's our revenue comes from the cost that Visa, Master, Discover pass to the customers. Getting into the nitty gritty, if your family member owns a business, they're always gonna be like, well, we hate when American Express comes in or these high-end rewards cards come in. So I try to pass the cost to them or whatever. Essentially what that means is the more points, the more rewards, the more perks a card has, the more cost it has towards that business. Sometimes a processor does not have a good rate in there with them as well. So there is the cost that comes from the rewards, the perks, the benefits of the card, and then the cost that comes on top of that from the processor. We're sharing the revenue that we charge. We're going to do good by the business to lower the rate that they currently have, give them the best deal we could possibly give them to earn their business, and sharing our revenue on top of the cost. So like Kyle mentioned, a $10,000 bill paid monthly does not mean there's $10,000 of revenue. Go ahead, Kyle.
No, that's the best part about that complicated question for everyone in the audience. You do not have to know about that if you don't want to.
Right.
You'll also receive.
It's a lot.
All partner schools will receive a dashboard. So if you're like, all right, I think we get 30%, but I'm not really sure what that means, you won't have to worry about doing accounting or understanding if it's actually coming in or anything along those lines. Once you're set up as a partner and there's a business in there, or 3 businesses or 50 businesses, you'll be able to log in whenever you want. It's not required, and see real-time revenue and statistics. So you can say, oh, actually, I haven't checked this out. Oh, wow, it looks like the program's up to 3 grand a month.
Right.
We will do all of the work between the business and us to make sure that they're involved, they're in the program. We will support them just as if they were a client that we sourced ourselves. That's really the coolest part of the program, and it really ties back to Shane and I's our backgrounds in athletics and in coaching. There's nothing stopping us from trying to work with these businesses directly, and then that extra revenue or extra money comes to us or our team or our company through this program. It's really cool because we create a way for everyone to win, and for your athletes to get new equipment and new jerseys and all the new sports tech that I'm sure you all are getting pitched on a regular basis as well. Trust us, we see it too. It's a really neat way to have businesses that want to support your school do so through something that they are already paying. I think those are all the questions that we've seen come in. Scott, anything you wanted to jump in and add as we kind of wrap up here in the next few minutes?
Kyle and Shane, I just think this is a unique opportunity because of the fact that I don't know that we have many in athletic. We have something that reoccurring income. And Kyle, to go back to your point, we're selling a product, we're getting something, and that's it. So I do like the fact that this can be a reoccurring income for the athletic department. So I just think that's really unique. I don't think that in our industry we're allowed that opportunity very often. So,
and Scott, not to cut you off, but the long-term dollar is so much greater than selling the takeout hot chicken dinners or the different things, the candles, the individual cookies and all that stuff. Like the long-term dollar on this program is significant compared to any other fundraising thing out there. I mean, I see on social media last night 3 different family friends asking to support their kids for volleyball and football for the new high school, track teams that are just going on, just asking for donations. Each kid every year has to get, $1,000 donation. Sometimes there are people that just write the check, not a big deal. Then sometimes there are others that struggle to get it. Most likely on year 2 or 3, you're going to have this program matching that monthly of what your team will bring in revenue, 20 grand, whatever. It is an option. It is definitely a realistic number to hit to bring in $10,000 a month in this program. I'm not saying it's going to happen in the first 5 months, but on month 36, it's there. And it's going to come in continuously. You don't do anything for 2 months, it's still coming in because those businesses are operating and doing their thing. You made their relationship down the road. I saw someone asked, I think his name was Chad. Kyle, did you have a question?
He did. And I gave an answer in the chat, but you can answer it as well. Are you able to service businesses that operate mostly online?
Yeah, so on our side of things, that's like called e-commerce. Yes, we can. Again, those people already know they have different rates than I'll mention the place that sells hot dogs and hamburgers in the street of a hot dog cart. Their risk is different online. As you could imagine, it'd be nervous for anyone to sell electronics online versus in a store because of scammers and such. But it's the way it goes. We could service them. We could sign them up. Hopefully we could fit their needs. And if not, at least we tried. And we told them, hey, down the road, if you want to switch over to us, we can. We're here. But for the time being, like, you have a good deal. And we could basically just match it. It's okay. They respect that. This is business. We're not trying to, sell somebody snake venom and tell them something wrong. Business owners are aware. I encourage people to ask somebody they know that does business, that has a business that operates it, that sees the numbers, about their payment acceptance cost, their payment processing cost. They're going to raise an eyebrow and ask you why, and then they're going to laugh and they're going to be mad and say it's absurd. Or they're going to say, we pass a portion of it or all of it to their customers. We're tired of paying all those costs, and we can do that as well.
Yep. And Chad had a few follow-up questions here. So the first one, bills that are paid by the business could vary. Short answer, yes. Like during our first webinar with this association, someone mentioned a Christmas lights business. So as you can imagine, they probably don't do business for about 6 to 8, 9 months out of the year, but for 3 months, they might do several $100,000. And those are the months where part of those fees are going to your school. It all depends on the business. It will go up and down. The examples that we shown were just like averages, but you're right. One month it might be $50 goes to the school. The next month it might be 70 or it might be 100. Some businesses are seasonal. Generally speaking, in our industry, volume and number of transactions is what affects the bill. Yep.
Exactly. As you drive home today, look for a mechanic, a muffler shop, a transmission shop that has 3 or 4 garage doors on it. And if they're typically pretty busy, their bill might be $1,500 a month or $3,500 a month, depending their business. Just keep that in the back of your mind, like, wow, they pay that much. And if we were to save them $200 or $900, they'd be very grateful. I would probably assume, right?
So I think those are the last questions here. Really the points that we want to leave you with today. First, there's no cost to the school, no risk, no obligations to get started. If it does not work out, which we don't think it will, but it's a thanks for trying, and it will still be there if a business does want to join at some point. For the businesses, we will meet or beat their existing cost. That's a very important part of this service because it's a high cost. It's something they think about. We will make sure that their rates or however they're priced is at or less what they're currently paying. And we are the ones that do all of the support and make sure that it's successful. So the only thing that you and your coaches and your volunteers and family members of the student athletes, just open the door. Say, hey, there's this program. Do you want to take a look at it? And then we take it from there. Shane, anything I'm missing? I mean, apart from obviously thanking everyone for their time, but
No,
any
that's
last
it.
comments? Yeah.
If people ask their questions, and even before they sign up, or I want to go to this program, I'll stress it again, and I encourage you to ask somebody who runs a business, owns a business. See what they say if you were to do that, put this program in place. A portion of their processing cost goes back to support the school of their choice, the program of their choice, and this program will be guaranteed to match or meet your current costs, your current pricing. They'd probably say it's a no-brainer. They might say, what about equipment? We got to cross that bridge when we get there. If I'll reference gas stations, if they have 10 gas pumps, most likely we can't give them free gas pump processing solutions. But we could cross the bridge when the time comes. If they want to buy new ones, it could be a relationship we earn. Everyone's different, right? So every opportunity is different for equipment, but we could help them with those costs up front.
Excellent. Scott, I think that's all it from our end, unless there are some last questions here. But thank you so much for coordinating today. Thanks everyone for their time, and good luck getting fall seasons underway and the school year as well.
Well, thanks everybody for attending. We are going to be putting this on our NHSACA newsletter. So this will be sent out to all of our 120,000 members. So we'll have, and I'm going to work with Shane and Kyle about writing an article that would accompany the video. And then I will include in that Kyle and Shane's contact information so that any of you and all of our members of NHSACA can reach out to Kyle and Shane about how they can utilize this program for their athletic department. So thanks everybody for being here today. And thank you for what you do each and every day to support our kids.
Sounds good. Thank you guys. Everyone have a great day.
Take care.
Thank you.